And we are back. Good morning, good evening, everyone. We are here with DreamHack Masters Summer 2021 Open Qualifier #1 for North America. I'm, of course, your host and caster, ReaLiTy, and I'm joined by maybe a dog in the background every now and then. Goddamn neighbors, Doug. But yes, unfortunately, I am solo casting today. Everyone, give your love to Milk and Cookies. He's actually a little bit under the weather. That's also why we didn't cast ESL Open Cup Americas yesterday. He's been sick for a couple of days now. Feels bad, man, feels bad, but hopefully he's able to recover for some of the future broadcasts. But we are here with our very first series of the day with players that we have casted plenty of, and spawning in the bottom right, a bit of a controversial player, the currently teamless green Terran. It is PureLegacy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the American Protoss representing Team Alpha X. It is ReaLiTy. Oh boy, oh boy. So we've casted plenty of both of these players in different ways. ReaLiTy is a player who started off as Diamond back in like 2018, I think. We caught, like, he used to be a regular in our Bronze to Diamond tournaments. Eventually he did promote into Masters, and then he was featured in our Masters tournaments, and then eventually he kind of broke free of all of that. He became too good and he wasn't eligible for our amateur events, and he's done really well as a player recently. He still hasn't really broken out and you know, hit his stride and hit like 5k or GM, but he has taken games off of these kinds of players. He's still a very strong player. He's very cheesy. Quite often we see him go for cannons and proxies and stuff like that, and it looks like we have just that on the way. So even though PureLegacy is kind of a veteran and is an extremely strong player, he could be caught off guard, and we could see an upset, as we do see a proxy gateway coming out here for ReaLiTy. Meanwhile, PureLegacy, he is an American player. We've seen him a lot, especially last year. He used to play very frequently in Battle of the Americas. Very frequently he would get to kind of like that top 2 echelons and kind of face and fall to Cham. Cham would be the one to knock down PureLegacy. There was a bit of a rivalry between the two that would consistently face each other in the finals of Battle of the Americas. He's a very strong player. I think he's around like 6k on the NA ladder, but yeah, he just hasn't really found too much success in competitive play. He does typically fall to some of the stronger players, you know, like your Chams or your Scarlets or your Neeb or your even PureLegacy. But the players that I just mentioned, they aren't here. They are invited. We can go over, as a probe does go down, we can go over some of the invited players later on. There are, I believe, 4 players invited to the main event and four players invited to the closed qualifier. I could be wrong there. I think the number is actually larger for North America, which is insane, as I quickly double check. Yeah, the closed qualifier, sorry, it has 8 players. Like, that's that's a lot of players that are already invited. Players like Disc, PureLegacy, Semper, Vindicta, Jon Snow. If you don't see these guys, it's because they don't need to play in the open qualifier. They are already through. Boy, so a lot of the big names aren't here, and it gives an opportunity for some of these lesser known players to kind of break out. And here we go, this proxy gateway is being put to use. We have plenty of Glaive Adepts here. The bunker is not going to finish immediately. The SCV goes down, and now there are only SCVs to defend, and SCVs against Adepts are not what you want to see. I feel like the boys need to be pulled. They do get pulled, but they get stuck on only one of the Adepts. Oh, there's no focus fire here though. I do think that these Marines could have gone down, and in the end it looks like PureLegacy will be able to clean this up, but he lost a decent amount of workers. 7 SCVs do go down. Things may have been able to snowball here. It looks like ReaLiTy was a little bit supply blocked. The pylon is only just going to finish now, so he was very limited with the amount of adepts that he could warp in there, but is now starting to warp in stalkers. He's dealt some damage, which is good, right? ReaLiTy is ahead in the worker count, but this is still really scary because PureLegacy was able to keep the majority of his army alive, and his upgrades are on the way. I do feel like ReaLiTy, he's still like the pressure is on him a little bit just to keep PureLegacy at home. Not necessarily deal some more damage, but just keep PureLegacy busy, keep him contained. When PureLegacy does move out, you know, slowly chip away at the army. Oh boy, speaking of, PureLegacy is moving out with his Marauders. He's going to try and take out these units. Again, there's no Twilight Council, no Blink. Oh god, the Stalkers are being focused down. Two go down, almost a third. Third just barely goes down. Only a single Stalker manages to escape, and ReaLiTy takes a third base. My god, just the balls on this man. As the proxy gets found, it's gonna get cleaned up, and this is where I am legitimately scared for ReaLiTy's life. PureLegacy, mate, he's got +1, he's got Stim, Combat Shields is about to finish up. Sure, he doesn't have a starport, he doesn't have a factory either. Factory is only just now going to be thrown down. PureLegacy did open up with a triple Rax opener, and he's going to be very aggressive with his army. So there are pros and cons to this. Obviously, this is going to hit hard. This could kill his opponent. Also, every Stim is going to hurt him that much more. There is no medevac to help support this army, so it's semi all in, as in like he needs this push to deal some damage, and it looks like it will. Marauders are coming out. Sorry, Immortals are coming out. There is the shield battery overcharge, but like the shield battery can be focused down by the Marauders. Oh god, the Immortal immediately goes down. Sure, there's an overcharge, but there we go. Shield battery does get focused down. Ay. Stalkers are not what you want to deal with this, and they are all being focused. Sure, you have a third Nexus, but he just didn't have enough to deal with the army. And PureLegacy does clean up the army of ReaLiTy. He's going to try and focus down this Nexus, but again, it's going to be really difficult to pull off. He doesn't have too much here, and I kind of like this decision. He doesn't stick around to deal whatever damage he could to eventually be cleaned up. He actually goes back home, keeps the majority of his army alive, or what was left of his army alive. Why was I not invited? Oh god. We thought you were too busy being awesome. Daunted, please. Making me blush. But here we go. Now the factory is done. Immediately we have a starport, and now we do have 2 medevacs on the way. And once those 2 medevacs are out, then this army can just zoom across the map, and PureLegacy can potentially end the game. ReaLiTy, he's still lacking in his own army. He's being a little bit greedy. To be fair, he's getting away with the greed, right? He got away with the 3rd Nexus. Makes sense, you know? He's just pumping out nothing but workers. But he does need an army, otherwise he will fall. Not just an army, but he also is lacking static defense. He doesn't have any shield batteries at his natural or his 3rd base. He is not ready for an attack. Finally, a single shield battery gets thrown down, but you need more than that. You need additional shield batteries, you need additional pylons just so you don't get, it doesn't get focused down. And here comes the army. There's a single Colossus, mate. You gotta be on top of your micro. You cannot let it get picked off. Oh god, I may have spoken too soon. The Colossus gets picked off. And there's nothing left here for ReaLiTy. ReaLiTy calls GG, and PureLegacy takes the first game. Oh god. Honestly, ReaLiTy, he was macroing so well. I say macroing, you know, his economy was in a beautiful position. He just needed to spend his money. He needed additional gateways. He needed, you know, to just produce as much as he could, throw down extra shield batteries, throw down extra pylons. Oh god, that's really all he needed to do, and then he would have maybe survived there, and the game would have gone on. So it is a bit of a shame, but PureLegacy does take the first game, and now we are immediately diving into game number 2. Also, shout out to Maximo in the chat, Neo as well. I see you, Neo, lurking. Oh god, everyone give your love and support to Neo and the other Latin American players. The Latin America qualifier is tomorrow. Today is the North America. And speaking of, here we are spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We have the American Terran player representing himself, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is PureLegacy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the American Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is ReaLiTy. Oh boy. For those wondering why I decided to go for this series, obviously we're familiar with both of these players, but also the winner of this series will go on to face the young up-and-comer, no longer Doctor, Ryan. Ryan, the NA Protoss player. I mean, again, we've casted him plenty of times. Speaking of, oh my god, this is what I love about ReaLiTy. Oh god, he gets denied. He's trying to go for the cannon rush. He did not wall off. He did go for a forge first. I apologize. I didn't notice, and I was kind of going on a different tangent. The probe does still barely manage to survive, which is important, but he does force a cancel. Second probe does show up, throws down a cannon, throws down a second pylon and a gateway, trying to deny surface area, but it looks like the cannon will go down to the SCVs. Oh god, the SCV DPS is just too good. Solid cancel there. One of the probes does fall. Only one probe remaining. Can he pull this off? Cannon, pylon. He's again trying to deny as much surface area. Only enough surface area there for 2 SCVs to attack. So this cannon will finish, but there's only one cannon. Ooh, and the probe is forced away as it's got barely any HP. Oh god, he's trying to circle back, and he does manage to go around, but he ends up canceling the cannon. Interesting decision. It looks like the probe will fall to the Marine, and PureLegacy has held. GG gets called. And PureLegacy takes game 2 and the series. Oh god, ReaLiTy, he was trying to pull it off, and he almost did. The cannon rush, but the reaction time of PureLegacy was just on point, denying that wall, making sure he had his workers on top of that probe. Wow. And I'm just messaging the players to get ready for the next series.